Hello and welcome to another update. In this one, we'll be covering the Donetsk and Luhansk front, as well as the Soledar and Bakhmut fronts. So starting out in the Donetsk front, the Russian forces are attacking in a new direction. As we can see from the southeast, the Russian forces have decided to attack in the direction of Konstantinivka instead of Novomikhailivka. So this may just be because they want to focus on cutting off the road, because Novomikhailivka was holding on. They decided to just go straight forward despite it being riskier. It allows them to make sure that they can cut off some supplies or troop rotations between Konstantinivka and Marinka. As for Marinka itself, the fighting continues, as well as with Vodian, Pervomaiske, and Nevelske. And here, Wogonso has a very interesting quote. They say that it may look like they are just going back and forth every day, going to the front, attack, go back home, and then repeat. However, not certainly in that way. This prevents the enemy from launching a counter-offensive in problem areas, for example in the same Marinka. So he's saying that in these three areas as well as Marinka, the reason why they are attacking every day is to not lose the initiative to the Ukrainians. Moving on to the Bakhmut front, we see that first of all the fighting continues in Klishchivka, and unlike previous reports, I do not believe the Russians have actually entered Klishchivka. I believe they are fighting to the north of it, as this entrenchment to the north determines whether or not Klishchivka falls to the Russians or not. If the Russians manage to break through this entrenchment, then they'll be able to completely take over Klishchivka without a fight, and of course, it is coupled with taking the one to the west as well, so they are fighting in these two directions, not in the city of Klishchivka itself. As for the Opytny direction, the Russian forces are advancing further within the southern outskirts of Bakhmut. And to the east of Bakhmut, the Russian forces have captured a bit of the residential areas to the south, and this is also reported by the Deep State map. In the northeastern direction, the fighting continues west of Bidorodne, as the Russian forces are trying to take over this residential area to the west of it. And as for the Pereskovivka area, again here I don't think the Russians have entered the village. According to Syriac mapping, they've reached to this forest line here, so that's most likely the case by the Bakhmutovka river. And then there will be attacking the Krasnogora area, and after capturing Krasnogora, then they may try attacking Pereskovivka. But right now, there's most likely fire battles going on between the two sides of the river. Further north, the fighting continues in the direction of Lahodadne, and most likely in this case, there are both reports of them coming from the east, but also reports of them coming from the north, as after capturing the residential areas, the Wagner PMC split into two. They are attacking the rail station by the west of Soledar, the last salt mine, and they are attacking Blagodatne from the north towards the south. So maybe it is an attack coupled from two directions, from the north and the east, or maybe it's just from the north. I'm not really sure, but they are trying to attack in the direction of Blagodatne. And according to the Wagner report, the Ukrainians are trying to hold on to the western outskirts of the Soledar city to prevent them from attacking Blagodatne and outflanking the Ukrainian positions by Pereskovivka and Krasnogora. As for this northern area, they are reported to have entered Silch, and I think in this case they may have entered, or at the very least are at the outskirts of it. And at the same time, they continue in the direction of Rosolivka to try and expand their zone of control in the Soledar area, and according to the Rybar report, it will also open up for a flanking attack towards the direction of Siversk, where they will be able to force the Ukrainian forces to pull back from this front line. This was also reported by DPA, so you should go check out DPA, Defense Politics Asia. As for the Luhansk front, it seems that the Ukrainians have stepped up their offensive operations, as they are now attacking the direction of Chernobylivka as well as Plashenka from three different axes, as well as fighting ongoing within the forest lines to the west of Kreminna, However, in this case, the war console reports that the Russians are the one who will have initiated, because the Ukrainians have started large concentrations in these areas for a offensive against Crimea. So they're trying to preemptively strike them to prevent them from building up enough forces to launch an attack on Crimea. And then finally, to the very north, the Ukrainians are trying to gain control over this gray zone to the north of Kupyansk, which includes Luhansk and Siversk, as well as this area to the south of Vilishana. And that's all for this update. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.